Hello again, everyone. This is Mark from Avalaunch, and today we are joined by a good representation of the Degis team. We have a lot of people here, and we're going to be able to cover a lot of different topics since we have so many people who work across so many different parts of the project, and that's always really nice. So I'm looking forward to having a good conversation and learning about the project. The registration has just closed, and we're moving into the sale. And I really want to talk about the history of the project and the kinds of problems that the Degis is solving, and sort of why it's important in today's landscape. And we're going to get into all of that. But before we do, since we have so many people here, if we could just go through one by one, and you could introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit uh, about who you are and what you do on the project. And Pero, why don't we start with you?
Okay, thanks, Mark. I'm Peril, the CMO of Degis, and I'm in charge of marketing and strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, hey
Yeah,
guys, I'm Andrew, and I'm a head of BD in Degis, and I'm in charge of business and development.
Okay.
yeah, and this is Max. Hello, everyone. I was also in the marketing section, and I was doing mainly marketing and community development.
And hi guys, I'm Maggie and I joined the team on the midway and I'm responsible for the product design. Yes.
Hey guys, I'm Zixing. I'm the designer in the team. Okay, thank you.
Hey, Zishin. Cool. Thanks for that. So let's just kind of dive right into it. Before we get into some of the specifics, Degis is an insurance project and product. I'm sorry, and I think everyone knows that. But how do you guys talk about it beyond that? What problem is Degis solving in the crypto space?
Yes, let me answer this question. I will say that Degis is the next generation all-in-one protection protocol, which is also our ultimate goal this year to build the middle market, which is a protection aggregator. And yes, we found a lot of users nowadays suffering from all kinds of risks, such as market high volatility and smart contract hacks, and so on and so forth. They just are here to provide protections to these users from all kinds of risks and build the protection ecosystem in Avalanche. And will also provide a much safer environment for users when they explore the crypto world.
Now, when you talk about Degis being an aggregator, um, is it? Do you guys plan on when you say aggregator? Are you referring to your own products, or is there at some point in the future where you guys are planning on aggregating other types of insurance solutions and other people's insurance contracts, or is this just an aggregation of your own contracts?
Yeah, actually, we're doing the both way. Because firstly, we're going to a lot of more products in our product universe. Right now, we have the token price protection, right? And later
Mhm.
on, we'll have like smart contract protocols and also cooperate with a lot of other uh, projects to provide protection for them. So that's the
Mhm.
first thing. And
Mhm.
also, yeah, we aim to build a all-in-one insurance aggregator in a platform, not only in Avalanche. So basically we'll try to aggregate all the insurance protocol, of course, which are very good to use and insurance that kind of insurance together and build a platform for the users to just like an entrance of insurance in the crypto world.
Mhm. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, there's you know, um, organizations like here in the U.S. that aggregate policies across all different types of providers. So in addition to your guys' own products, insurance products and policies, you'll be able to vet and offer other good solutions. So it's really both kind of an all-in-one insurance provider, but in addition to that, also an aggregator where you can explore the entire insurance landscape across Avalanche and potentially beyond. I think that's That's pretty cool. And when I like talk about the project and I kind of go this place with a lot of different projects, and I think it's interesting for people to learn about when you have an idea for a project. It's easy to look at Degis, a project like Degis in this stage, and for a user or a community member to say, okay, this is great. But I think it's helpful to understand what the earliest days of a project like this looks like. Like you have the idea, you identify the need, you start to build it. So for Degis, what did those early weeks and months of execution look like? How do you take the idea of wanting to build something like this and then actually starting to do that?
Oh yes. In very early stage, we mainly discuss internally about the product and also the future roadmap of Degis. Yes, I will say that we make a lot of progress in the first months of our start. We discussed about the products that we came up this year. It's the token price protection, and the impermanent loss protection, and also the smart contract protection. And also, in the first months, we also started to develop our smart contracts and also making some marketing plan. Yes, so I will say the first month is very important for Degis. And also, before we start to building all this kind of thing, we did a lot of research on the current market, on Avalanche ecosystem, and also the existing protection protocols. Uh, yes, after we found maybe the current problem in the existing protocol and we got our own solution, then we started to develop our own products, discuss with our advisors. And of course, when everything is mature enough, then we just start our project just from maybe the concept to early stage of development.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that research phase is something I hear a lot, and I do wanna go focus on that and kind of understand what your guys' thoughts are there, but we'll come back to that. Um, so beyond the ideation and the research, there's these early days of a brand in a community, and since we have kind of everyone here, I wanted to ask about, and I think this is kind of useful for anyone who might be thinking about their own project or maybe even someone that currently has one. What do you like? How do you go about building the initial community in crypto and the brand? Why is that marketing? Why is that early community so important, and how do you achieve it?
Yeah, the branding is really a big thing. You know that even in the traditional insurance market, branding is everything, right? Because insurance is all about protecting people from possible risk and then dangers. So it just needs to be reliable, to be professional, and to be, say, trustworthy. So I mean, people will never choose to buy their life insurance from an unknown company because it will never make them feel safe.
Right.
So in the cryptocurrency world, is practically the same thing. We want to build a all-in-one insurance aggregator to protect investors from all kinds of risks in cryptocurrency world. So I really contribute something to the Avalanche ecosystem. So it was crucial for us to convince our potential users and investors how strong and reliable we are, and to form a very tight-knit initial community. Therefore, in the last few months, we have had, say, airdrops and cash giveaways to attract eyeballs, two testnets to motivate users to test the ropes, how strong and how powerful the product is, and also up to 5 community events on the Discord channels to keep us connected. So all of which have given generous rewards. Yeah, that's basically how we do the community and brand.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, it's obviously that reputation is important is important here. Um, so going back to the research, going back to what you guys observed in the crypto insurance landscape, what are your impressions of it? Then and now. What do you think is being done well, and what were you inspired by, and what do you think could be done better, and like how is Ted just trying to address that gap?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we think that insurance is actually kind of left behind compared to the other, DeFi parts, because there are now like insurance programs that are doing a good job of using their say own mechanism to protect against on-chain risks. Yes, there exist some very good projects, but we
Yeah.
would say that insurance in the DeFi industry should be improved to have the following capabilities to think out of the box from the traditional way. Insurance in the crypto world should have this kind of like characteristic, like immediate payout, and it has to be a liquidity aggregation thing. Also, it had to be accurately priced. So that is something that the current market haven't done for the other insurance project. So in our token price protection, we use the AMM mechanism, as you know, and the idea of like put options to protect users from price fluctuations in accurate, immediate, and simple way. And in addition, we note that most current insurance platforms are built on Ethereum and have very high gas. This is the first all-in-one insurance aggregator in Avalanche can also solve this problem.
So what do you think the place of crypto insurance will be kind of going forward? Is it, do you think it will have this very, very important, place in the middle layer of all DeFi activity? Do you think when do you think that might happen? Do you think it might retain this place of this is just sort of a nice thing to have and kind of only for a select few? What is the future of crypto based insurance look for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I have to say that insurance is definitely going to play an increasingly important role in the crypto world, right? It's over the past 2 or 3 years, the DeFi projects have been driving more and more people and companies into the market. The industry is actually boosting. The insurance is such a necessity to protect people's digital assets as they gain more access to the market. We know that how volatile the cryptocurrency market can be, and the market conditions over the last 2 months have only enhanced our impressions. I'm pretty sure that like all of us, all of the crypto investors have gone through very hard 2 months, right?
Yeah.
So also with so many smart contract attacks, which happens all the days, and the companies and users could lose billions in assets, which shows how important insurance will be. So finally, you will know that the DeFi industry, or say every industry for that matter, is going to go from elevated to from boosting from that kind of period to a more stable development. And there will never be a situation like the past few years where like say 80% of investors are making a lot of money and no one is losing money. It's not going back again. So insurance will definitely play an even more important role as more and more regulations and rules are gradually established, and the crypto world, the blockchain industry is going to develop in a more stable way.
And you guys have been working on this for a long time now. It's been, I first met some of the core members of the team last year, and you guys have really made pretty tremendous progress, I would say, in every imaginable area of the product and community. And that was something that we were just really excited about. You guys are certainly the kind of team that just goes out there and builds and gets it done. And I think that's really what it takes to be successful. And in that period, you guys did launch the testnet, like you mentioned, not just as part of a community building initiative, which I think it can be useful for, but also to understand and strengthen the product better. So, what did you guys like? What did you learn about the product through that testnet period? What changed as a result of that work, and how did it make the overall protocol better?
Okay, definitely, testnet is an important tool, and the focus is more on the system itself, as it has never been operated before. Testnet proves if the platform works properly and if it's secure enough. Through this deployment, we gathered feedback from developers and communities. The information is invaluable, and it is absolutely essential that developers use the feedback to make the platform better before the mainnet implementation is complete. In general, Testnet simulates the mainnet to the maximum extent. We tried our best to find all problems and solve them to avoid appearing in mainnet.
Very cool. Well, let's then talk about kind of each of the products individually. There's you guys are launching with a few different types of products, and I'm hoping one of you guys can break down each one and help the listener understand like how they work, and maybe some of the more technical components, and why these products in particular are important.
Okay. Actually, in our version 1, there are two main products. There are miserable flight and naughty price. For miserable flight, it's actually a flight delay protection. Every user can buy a miserable flight no matter whether they really take the flight. The price of miserable flight are determined by a self-developing machine learning algorithm. And for the naughty price product, it's a protection dealing with the high volatility of tokens. For example, if you use one USDC to create a naughty token named AVAX60L2202, which means the price of AVAX will be lower than $60 on the first day of February 2022. Then you sell it into the swap pool for a price of 0.5 USDC. When the expiry date comes, if the price of AVAX is lower than $60, then you can settle your naughty token, which means you will lost $0.5 in this deal. The person who bought AVAX 60L2202 with the price of 0.5 USDC will get 1 USDC payout at the expiry date. So this is a mechanism of naughty price. Yeah.
So they're interesting. They're interesting names for sure. And one of the things that I had to initially understand about the miserable flight is that there is such a thing as flight delay insurance. It's not a very common thing here in this country, but what I think it demonstrates that's good is a few things. One, that there's actual potential for a crossover from real world, let's say, insurance needs into crypto insurance, right? There isn't a lot of that happening now. It's all related to smart contract risk and things associated with DeFi, and they can actually be pretty expensive and not make a lot of sense financially, I would say. So I think that's a very, very cool demonstration of your guys' technology and where we all know that this project is headed. With the price protection insurance, it's an interesting concept, and I want to talk a little bit more about it because, again, it's not your typical crypto insurance. It's not, hey, if your money is in Aave and something goes wrong, we'll cover it for this premium. It's different, and what you're describing sounds a lot like an options contract, in traditional markets. So could you help us understand how it's different? Why someone wouldn't just take out an option or hedge their risk through more traditional methods and prefer this type of insurance product?
Of course. So, option is very difficult for ordinary users to understand, but our projects, our products are very easy to understand. So we are aimed to provide the protection for the token price for the ordinary people, and both the professional trader and ordinary users can use our products very easily. Yeah.
Got it. And so it's there's an element here that is distilling down some of the complexity of options for an everyday user and packaging this into an insurance product alongside other types of insurance products. Is that fair to say?
Yes. Yeah.
And what are some of the other insurance products that you guys are planning that you're excited about? that may not be available right at launch or mainnet, but that are coming at some point soon in the future?
Yeah, sure. Smart contract insurance is definitely a big thing, and we are actually very actively preparing for that
Mm-hmm.
because you know how much risks that have been like attacked in the crypto world, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the time, like every few weeks, we can see like how much so much money are stolen, or which smart contract is attacked. So yeah, this is definitely one field that we are exploring right now, and hopefully the smart contract insurance will come out very soon.
Mm-hmm. And what about the impermanent loss insurance?
Yeah, it's also uh, under say preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. So looking at the team, one of the things that stands out to me, at least about Degis, certainly since we had first met, was the professionalism and talent, I would say, of the backing and the advisors and the people that have come around the project to support it. And I actually, ended up knowing a lot of them personally. And I think if you go, let's say to the website, most people in crypto would recognize some of these people, and I think that's an interesting thing that's happening. And I want to understand how you guys, as a project, through your network and business development, really, and your relationship building, managed to secure and get the interest and attention of some very, very smart people in the crypto space who felt like Degis was an important product.
Okay, the first thing
Oh,
is to make sure the product is good enough and will bring value to crypto space. Once that is set, the key is to involve true builders on board. Actually, lots of investors ask us for allocation, but we make sure we only provide those investors bring value to Degis and will keep building the ecosystem with us. So that is how we are able to build such a strong team of advisors and partners. For other projects, my advice is to follow the correct path and onboard value-adding investors.
Hmm. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Well, you guys, it's interesting because this is a protocol that's going to secure people's money, and ensure people's losses from other protocols that might experience some kind of smart contract security issues. And so, outside of audits, what is there anything? What are you guys doing around the security of the protocol to make sure it's resilient, to make sure people are safe? There's kind of like nothing worse than an insurance protocol getting hacked. Just kind of like ironic. I want to understand how you guys look internally at security, and if there's any lessons you've been able to learn from some other projects with respect to security, and how maybe that's helped you guys along.
Yes, actually, we have done a lot of testing before we launched Digits to ensure that there is no problems with the smart contract. And after launching, we also have strict supervisions and mechanisms. Once like unexpected loopholes occur, we will immediately terminate the protocols. And at the same time, we will evaluate the loss and make up for our users with the corresponding amount of tokens from the reserve fund on the platform, which is shown on the Degis tokenomics. And as you said about how we learn maybe from the other project, and the answer is like definitely yes. Yes, and we have found many hack issues actually happening, and we do count these hack incidents every week and analyze the causes behind it to ensure that we will not make the same mistakes. And we also communicated with like the professional audit corporation, the slow mist, like to discuss about the code detail by detail to ensure the similar problems will not occur.
Hmm. Okay, so let's talk about the actual user journey of taking out a policy, and what that looks like. If you go to really any insurance product at this point in crypto as a user, what you'll experience is, they'll support a number of protocols, generally the more used and audited ones, and you will be able to tell that product how much you'd like to insure and for what length, and they'll give you a rate of what that will cost. And typically that rate is not very competitive. It's expensive and really cuts into the profits you might be looking to receive by putting that money into a DeFi protocol, right? So for a user of Degis, one, how does it look to actually take out a policy? What's that user journey like? And the second part of the question is how do you guys determine those rates and fees, and how do you ensure that they're competitive and not just so prohibitive to someone looking to earn a yield across time that they just skip it altogether because it's too much?
Okay, like about the rates and fees, you said the price of the Naughty token is like completely determined by the market, the supply and demand. And the price of miserable flight is determined by like what Paro said before, our self-developing machine learning algorithm. And regarding the competitiveness, our products kind of very easy for our users to understand, and it actually has a much wider range of user scenarios, and it maybe can use and associate with the real world. And also in the field of protected coin price fluctuation, and until now, we are proud to say actually there's no similar product to us. So yeah, I think there's a lot of challenges, but also chances for us to develop and to build the Degis world.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is probably a good opportunity to talk about the token, then the DEG token, which is what's available in the Avalaunch event. What is the utility of that token? What is it? What purpose does it serve in the protocol and the users of the product?
In the cherry box part, you can stake your digital token to buy tickets, 10 tokens for 1 decade. So it's more like a costless lottery. The reward pool will be filled out by the income of the protocol periodically. For winners, they can share profits generated by Degis protocols. Digital token and can be also staked to mine more digital tokens. And in the future, with most of digital token held by communities, there will be an insurance DAO which will determine the destiny of the protocol, and the digits will become totally decentralized. And more than that, digital holders will also get a discount when buying insurance in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and so if I go, once the Degis token starts trading, I go to an exchange, I acquire it. Why might I be interested in holding that long term? How do you expect it to accrue value over time?
Actually, as we can see in our roadmap, in the long-term plan, Degis will be an insurance aggregator as well as a universal insurance marketplace, the meta market. So the DG will increase its value over time. For now, if you hold DG and stake it into Cherry Box, you can share the profits generated by the platform. In the future, DG holder can also get discounts when buying products on the platform, as well as making proper decisions for the whole platform. And also, the on-chain insurance market is relatively small now. It has huge potential in the future. Degis, as the next generation protection platform, will lead the new protection ecosystem, and meanwhile sharing the best benefits in the process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the roadmap and what you guys have planned. Um, we're closing the IDO here in the next few days. The token's going to go on the list. In the broadest sense, what can the community expect in terms of the mainnet deployment and timeline? Is there going to be an incremental rollout? And when can people expect new types of products um, relative to what's available at launch?
We will do IDO on Avalaunch on March 7, and the TGE will happen in March 14. The mainnet will be launched on the first day of April. we will launch our products one by one to make sure users can totally understand what we are doing. It's a continuous journey. After this, we will develop 2 more protections this year. They are impermanent loss protection and smart contract protection, which are also amazing. So let's look forward to it and enjoying the things we make together.
Mm-hmm. And this is, kind of where I like to go toward the end of these interviews, and we've managed to cover a lot. So I appreciate you guys coming on and taking the time to answer my questions. But what's the end goal for Degis here? What are some of the future plans that you can talk about? And I'm hoping you can give your community and ours a better sense of like the longer term vision for Degis.
In terms of products, 2 products will come up: impermanent loss protection and smart contract protection, which protects users from protocol smart contract risk. Moreover, building Degis a meta market, aggregating insurance from other protocols, building all-in-one market, and providing insurance consulting service. In terms of team, it is quite important to take on more talent, and we are in the process of doing so. There's no denying that we are a young team, but just because we're young, we keep learning, keep growing, and our future is unlimited.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you guys are a young team, and we don't, we're very careful about like who we work with and who we ultimately represent, in front of our community, because it's just, crypto's pretty crazy, and we take that responsibility very, very seriously. And in the time that I've worked with you guys and your whole team, and it's been a while now, and it's something that's come together over a long period, and I've always been really, really, just honestly impressed with your guys' professionalism and your ability to not just build, but also get the right people and the right partners in place and understand who the right partners are. And that's something that I see a lot of teams struggle with for whatever reason. And it suggests to me that you guys have a really bright future, and you're going to be able to navigate a very, very challenging industry. So I wish you guys the best of luck. And, we will make sure to do this again. We often invite the teams that we launch back to kind of check in, and I'm sure we'll do that with you guys. But I really just want to thank you for your time today, your trust in our platform and the Avalaunch community to represent all your hard work at launch. And we're really looking forward to seeing you guys get going.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for your time and appreciate this wonderful interview. Yeah.
Right on, guys. All right. Well, you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk soon.
Okay. Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See you, Mark.
See you.